Nga Uganda yeteekerateekera okulonda akalulu aka 2026 okukyusa abaka Parliament okukyusa abakulembeze mu buli kitundu. Kati nno waliwo empawa eziri okubibwa olwabo ebibiina by'obufuzi bebize bironda abantu abagenda bakiikirira mu bitundu ebyenjawulo, naye nga issue esinga eri ku babaka aba Parliament. Omubaka Ssemujju Nganda yavuddeyo n'acriticinga ekibiina ekya National Unity Platform ng'agamba nti ababaka be bagenda okuleeta mu Parliament oba be bawadde kaadi bakibogwe. Ono yasinzidde mu kugeraageranya omukulu Sseggona gwe bamye kaadi eya Busiro East ne bagiwa omuyimbi Mapaasi Walukagga Mulumba. Kati kweno video gye tugenda okureactingako yabaddeko NBS ng'agezaako kuweeyinga saako n'eddombo owa NRM ng'agezaako kuweeyinga ababaka ba Parliament oba ebibiina bibaze nga bisindika mu Parliament, era n'agamba nti no omulundi guno twandyolekera okulaba Parliament ekyasinze okuba wiiki. Ssemujju Nganda ye agamba nti no wadde abo be baleese balina ebisaanyizo, naye ate tekitegeeza nti buli alina ebisaanyizo atina okuyingira Parliament. Lwaki? Kubanga Parliament kizimbe oba institution eri critical nnyo era nga yeetaaga abantu abasomyeko. Ssemujju Nganda musajja munnamawulire ate era nga mwesimbyeko eyo akira municipality, ye musajja munnamateeka. Kati tuli kuweeyinga tulabe ensonga zino zayogerako n'ensonga zino zagezaako gamba nti nno ababaka National Unity Platform beereeta ku mulundi guno bakibogwe nnyo n'okusinga ku babaka be yaleetwa taamu eyaggwa.
They have told me he sleeps in Parliament. As long as he wakes up to raise his hands in favor of NRM, bring in a better. I am not in a new debate. This debate is old. I am one of those who think people must choose their best to go and represent them in Parliament. Museveni says...
I think you're pretty condescending when
Museveni
the other
says,
day you said Bakapere. You described the new lot, the new crop as Bakapere.
Yes,
I think that's a bit disrespectful and harsh.
I am not disrespecting. You see, knowledge and talent is a resource. In other countries, they go around their countries hunting and looking for talent. Even when they are sending people to study, they choose their best for scholarships, for them to return and benefit their own country. That's how the Abumayanjas were selected by the colonial administration to go and study at Cambridge. They were the best at that time. Because I have been battling with Museveni, who says bring anyone as long as he sleeps but wakes up to vote NRM, I cannot be involved with my colleagues in opposition that they also think as long as people are loyal to their parties where they are valued to Parliament or not bring them. These books that I have carried, each of these books is 4,000 pages. This is one set of books that we have to read when we are preparing a budget. There are 4 functions of a member of Parliament. One of the functions is appropriation, scrutinizing the national budget, because Museveni and his government collect taxes from every Ugandan. Those Ugandans from whom taxes are collected have sent you to Parliament to make sure that their money is deployed to the...
Omulimo ogusinga ogw'omubaka wa Parliament kwe kubaga oba kwe kwetaba mu kubaga amateeka agagenda okukolera abantu baabwe. Kwe kulaba nti natuusa ebizibu byabwe mu kitundu mwakulira eri Parliament. Parliament esalire ensonga zino amagezi mu kubaga amateeka ago agagenda okuyamba abantu ab'ekitundu. Kati Ugandan politics gye tuvuddeko era ne kusaawa eno ali about populism. Ani asinga amaanyi, ani asinga obumanyifu. Era tulabye ababaka abazze bajja mu Parliament olw'okuba in court bali popular ne weesanga nti no bagenza ate otuuka mu parliament ne balema okuteesa oba okwogerako ebyo ebizibu ebiruma abantu baabwe. Kati Ssemujju Nganda ye agamba nti wadda ababaka bano basindika waliwo minimum qualification naye ate waliwo obumanyirivu n'obuyigirize obwetaagisa nga at least omubaka wa parliament alina okuba nga amanyi va ku bino nti alina qualification ezimukkiriza okubeera omubaka wa parliament, kubanga ng'oggyeko ekyo balina obukiiko bwe batuulamu. Naye w'obanga omusindise nga tasobola na kudebatinga nsonga, tasobola kuteeka nsonga ku floor ya parliament, agenda kukiikirira atya abantu be?
The work of an MP is to go through this, and this is just one set.
Yeah, but the constitution stipulates that if one has an S6 or an equivalent, he's eligible to become an MP.
For me, it doesn't even matter, even if it was in senior 6. You mean people have no capacity to choose their best, even if they are of the same level. You've worked in newsrooms, you've worked in other organizations. Even when you are at the same level, there are people who will be better than the others. And you don't need a microscope to scrutinize and identify them. Yeah, I have told you every financial year starting December to May, for 6 months, we're only doing one thing, budgeting. You've got to read this. These are 4,000 pages. This is one volume. This is volume 2, 4,000 pages. This is volume 3, 4,000 pages.
Do you read
and I do. You should go and ask people at home. It's like I am back in school.
So why are you quick to judge?
I spend 2 months reading and understanding. That's why when you are presenting a budget and I am not in this parliament, that parliament will miss me. Because I dedicate my time, read, ask. We have people who can help you to understand better. And this is just one set. This is one set. You have several other sets that you have to read and several other documents. The country must understand that to be an MP is very difficult work. You need to choose your best to go and represent you. This is not a ceremony.
But
that you wake up every day and you end up in the parliament.
What's your issue here and why now? Because I mean, you've lived with your colleagues for a while.
I am saying not now. I was in Jinja and I told the people of Jinja, please elect Mweru. I also told them, don't bother him with attending funerals. Don't bother him with presiding over nursery, pre-primary children graduating. That work you can ask councillors to do it. Leave MPs to concentrate. These things, each time of budget, I spend more than 2 months reading.
Yeah, but it's always a learning curve. You can imagine. You must have entered parliament when you were an underdog yourself.
No. I have never. I covered parliament as a journalist for 10 years. In fact, I knew more about parliament than MPs during those 10 years. So I went to do work that for which I already had the knowledge. And I'm not saying everybody is going to be as gifted or as like I was, because I had covered parliament. That benefit I had. There are people you can train. There are also others that you cannot train. The most important thing, and I have told people, I was in Chiganda, Kasokoso yesterday, I was in Insasa, and I am happy my people appreciate and they see that there is work to do in the parliament. I only want, because this work should be done by the Human Rights Commission, to tell people that there is work. Because you see,
kati waliwo issue eri mu bantu. Abantu bo balowooza nti no abantu bano abasomi ababaka bano abasomi abeeyita in quote the elites tebayambye ggwanga, tebayambye ebitundu byabwe. Kino nkiddamu, abantu balowooza abantu bano tebayambye eggwanga lyabwe, nti babasindika dda mu parliament bangi bamazeeyo ebbanga ddene. Abamu bamaze emyaka 10 bisanja 2, abalala myaka 15 bisanja 3, abalala myaka 20, naye obabuuza kye bakoledde ebitundu byabwe. Abamu bali mu opposition. Kati abantu balina obunyiivu, balina obusungu. Bagamba wemba nga mwe temusobodde kuyamba ggwanga lyaffe, temusobodde kuyamba bitundu byaffe, kwenunula kulaba nti no naffe twenunula. Ekisinga kwe kusindikayo bano abantu mwe bemulowooza nti no tebaasoma. Bano abantu bemulowooza nti no bakiboggwe. Kuba tulabyeko bano abantu nga balina minimum qualifications. Yes, it is their first time to go in Parliament, but they have shaken the table. An example of Bobi Wine, by the time he went into Parliament and the period of time he was there, the way he shook Parliament, the way things changed, the way tables were shaken, you can really appreciate it. He did a very tremendous work. Vakubana ababaka bano abali okuritaininga ebifo byabwe abali comfortable mu bifo gye bali. Ababaka bangi tulina ababaka nga bali tebalina experience, but when you go down there gye bakiikirira abantu baabwe nga people are appreciating. Why? Kubanga bakulembeza interest z'abantu bano abeyita abaasoma bamusiba mataayi bakoledde ki ebitundu byabwe. Because that's the question. Because what we want is to see service delivery. Mulimu abantu abamu nga babalonda nga tebalabikangako myaka 5 nga tebalabikako na floor parliament. Naye nga ate ebizu bye balina mu constituency zaabwe mu districts zaabwe nga bingi nnyo nga abantu bali balajana, abantu bababaka amataka, abantu babakola ki, abantu babatulugunya, abantu balina ebizibu ebyenjawulo naye nga tebasobola bifrontinga mu parliament. Kati ekyokulowooza nti nno omubaka alina okubeera ng'asomye okubeera nti asobola okurepresentinga abantu be, that is a wrong perception.
President Museveni has been a very bad man. He has technical people who do his things properly. He offloads these things to MPs who don't read, who don't understand. I have told you in the last budget, I told Parliament that Museveni has put in these documents money to pay Congo, 235 billion. He has put in this, hidden in these documents, 532 billion to give to Magora. He has put in this budget money to pay Mobaji. He has put in these documents money to pay Rocco. If you don't read them and you wait just to raise your hands, you are selling your own country. This country is highly indebted. You go here and they tell you public debt is now at 116 trillion shilling. And for you, if you are an average MP, you think actually that we have a debt to clear. Yet Museveni puts here money, hidden, you need to read, you need to consult, you need to dedicate your time. So all of you guys who want to come to Parliament, Parliament is not a burial site. It's not a concert. Come knowing that there is work to do for which you must dedicate yourself.
Yeye ndowooza ya Ssemujju Nganda yalowooza nti n'ababaka abalina okusindikibwa mu Parliament beebo abanga basomyeko tuve ku bino nti omuntu ali popular nnyo, tuve ku bano nti nno omuntu amanyi amateeka wabula tusindike abantu nga bali experienced. Ngenda kusomera ku ndowooza z'abantu ku social media olabe before nga tetunabagenda wa Honorable Dombo ono muna NRM. Kankusomere ku ndowooza zaabwe. Ono ayitibwa Emma 1256 agambye interesting. The question remains, when has Ssemujju's super budget reading skills ever changed or stopped the NRM's appetite for more money through the budgeting process? It is all elitism, pride at its best. What wagambye ono ati Rugari William Ssemujju is very right, but Bakapere can't understand him. Ono at Derrick Musazi agambye naye mwe. Ono at Livingstone Kanyerenge agambye the challenge is not the quality of people we are bringing in the Parliament, but the issue is we need to have Moyo wa Gwanga, whether you're on NRM side or no opposition side. So we should stop the things of deciding things just to please our party. We should put our countries on forefront in whatever you people decide. Endala ngenda zibaletera nga tumaze okulira Honorable Dombo. Honorable Dombo iye atugamba atya.
Thank you very much, Bwana Nganda and Bwana Simon for for elaborating on the issues that you raise. By the way, this is not a new debate. It has been a debate that has been recurring since time immemorial. Because if we get back, I'll be explaining to you that this is basically a debate about poor people. This is a demonstration of poverty. Poverty of money, poverty of ideas, and whoever comes up uses his opportunity to exploit those that are gullible in order to have their way out. I've been to Parliament, and I want to tell you that Honorable Ssemujju Nganda is one of the very articulate members of Parliament. I admire him. And he's one of the people, if he chooses to debate, if you're a caring person, you should listen and pick what he says. Because he puts in time to read, he puts in time to understand, although he also uses it to ridicule, especially if he knows that there are those who have either not read or read and they haven't understood. And to me, this to be happening in the Parliament of Uganda is not surprising. Because recently I had some members of Parliament moving around Uganda saying Impuga Yalia. All they can say is Impuga Yalia. But when Honorable Mpuga came up to explain, actually the very members of Parliament had passed what Impuga had eaten without them realizing that they had done so. Now, who was the fool? Was it the members of Parliament who approved it without reading, or was it Impuga who accepted to take what belongs to him because of Mugabite Yesera? Basically, that's what happened. But if you go back to the history of this country, we have been told in the history when Professor Senteza Kajubi contested with a bar seller around the areas of Wandegear, and he was beaten by a pan who sells the tonto. And they refused the Professor Senteza Kajubi. And the people who were backing the bar seller were not bar sellers, they were highly landed people who wanted to exclude the Senteza Kajubi because of his views that he held at that moment. But like I've told you, that without people acknowledging whatever we are going through is a reflection of the poverty we go through as a country. And for us, one day when we were in Chankwanzi, President Museveni asked us a question. The same question I had Honorable Nganda repeat on CBS, I think. President Museveni said, when you want to repair your car, to whom do you give it?
Poverty of money and poverty of ideas. First check the MP you sent to Parliament. Ebiseera ebisinga abaka betusindika mu Parliament bakiikirira endowooza zaffe. Era checking omukulembeze gwe sindika mu Parliament yeye endowooza yo. Wabanga yakugulirira ne sente. Kitegeeza mwenna muli bali banguzi. Waliwo betwesiga nga tebatuyambye. Waliwo ebitundu ebimu nga tojja binenya naye nga beesiganya abantu. Ne babayiwa ne batabayamba. Kati kino kiva omubaka gw'osindise mu Parliament ne wabanga tali experienced atute step ki okulaba nti n'ategeera Parliament, ategeera emitendera, domba wadde ekyokulabirako. Abaka bo bennyini abayisa sente ezaweebwa Mpuuga ne banne ne bamala ate ng'amaze oziyisa mu bukyamu ate ne badda ne bamukuba. Baasoma amateeka naye tebaagategeera, baayisa bye bataategeera. Kati omubaka gw'olina okusindika mu Parliament kuba oyo gw'osooka n'otunulamu ti n'akulembeza interest zammwe so singa ezize ng'omuntu ogenda okubeera n'omuntu agenda obakiikirira. Kubanga abatunuuzi b'ebyobufuzi bagamba Parliament eno yandibeera Parliament esinga okubeera week mu Parliament zonna ezizze zibaawo. Kubanga bonna abasinga ab'amateeka ebibiina bibakubye kubanga tebayambye bantu bo bwe bagamba. Kati emisaayi emito egijja abasinga tebamanyi mateeka, tebalina experience parliament ngeri gyetambulamu, banaasobola batya okukuteeseza n'okubaga amateeka ago agagenda okuyamba. Ekyo kiri eri ggwe. Kanziremu nkusomere endowooza z'abantu nga tetunnaba kusayininga awo. Tuona Ashabera Malinga agambye the level of education must also go from A level to master's degree. If teachers are being asked to upgrade from certificates to degrees, why must the important position be held by senior 6 people, even failures? This is so true. Ssemujju, I agree with you. Parliamentarians must be the most educated people of any country. Oyo watu wagambye. Kizito Lubega agamba, to a small extent I can agree with the Ssemujju saying, but on a large extent I can't, because even Daudi was mulunzi, but he became the greatest king. Zeze ndowooza zammwe n'endowooza endala ku social media ezikwatagana ku nsonga eno. Nawe kikyolowooza okulowooza nti nno parliament erina okubeeramu abantu at least abasomyeko va ku minimum qualification, but abantu abategeera parliament ki kyeyeetaagisa, ki kyekola, ki kyennyini kye bateekeddwa okukola nga bali mu parliament. Endowooza giteeke mu comment section. Tegeerera kusubscribinga, kulikinga na kusharinga video eno ku lwa Katonda n'ensi yange. Mukama abakuume.